Hey guys, I'm coming to you from Box Elder, South Dakota. That's where I live. I am Wyatt Paranormal of Wyatt Paranormal. With this first episode, I'm going to be touching bases on what got me started in the world of the paranormal. So it all starts when I was a little kid. My grandmother, Erica, she was a great inspiration to me. That, she meant a lot to me. So much so that when she died, our story didn't end with that. I was living in Rapid City with my family at the time. Just living in there. When I was a little kid, I remember laying in bed one night. This was months after my grandmother passed away. She's been gone. I've been back from Rockford, Illinois, where she's buried. And what happened was I was laying there in bed. Now, keep in mind, this house had really good windows. This house didn't have any problem with drafting, nothing. You could hang a feather up and it wouldn't even move. But one night, she came to me as apparition. And what happened was, before she even appeared to me, I was laying there, and all of a sudden I felt a gust of wind blow in the room. Now, as a small child, I'm like, oh, that's a little odd. Why would that happen? So what I did was I got a little scared, but then I realized strong, smell in the air was illuminating the room. The smell was of her perfume, and I'm like, well, that's weird. That's what my grandmother would use and wear for her perfume. And then little minutes go by, and then it stopped. And then all of a sudden, I felt something at my feet. It was a little weird, a little strange, if you will. And all of a sudden, I used to call my grandmother Chin Chin Grandma. I don't know why. It was just a nickname. I was a little kid. So I felt a little brush on my chin. And with that being said, I was like, ooh, that's a little weird. And then I looked down after my feet's been played with, everything. And all of a sudden, she was standing there, as plain as day as somebody can be like me right now. It was strange. It was like straight up out of some kind of I wouldn't say a horror movie, because I didn't feel like I was being harmed by a spirit of sorts, but it was more like a kind of a welcoming feeling. That feeling is something that I felt when she was around me, when she was alive. Now, she would always take me to the 1880 train, up in Hill City in Keystone when I was a little kid. She would spoil the heckins out of me. So what happened is she was there, and I remember that she muttered to me, "I love you. Goodbye," and she was gone. She vanished. After that, it was just the last time I ever saw her. So with this episode, I am dedicating it to her. Now, I am a strong believer in spirits and spectrums and afterlife. I'm a strong believer, a very strong believer, to a point that, I've seen many ghosts in my time on this earth. And I see them every single day. I don't communicate with them unless I truly would want to. But with this new series, Wyatt Paranormal, I'm going to make it my job to communicate, either through EVPs, maybe trying to ask them to move something, the whole typical ghosty stuff. But what I'm also going to do is be working on countless interviews. I'm going to be going to many different locations in which is haunted, and so I'll be putting captions on where I'm at, what I'm doing, and what you can expect for the video. Now, what I'm going to be also doing is showing you, like, my story, my life, everything I go through. But most of it's going to stem around the paranormal, because with the paranormal going on, it happens around us all the time, and you just don't even realize it. Like, if you realize something moves and it's out of the ordinary, then if it doesn't have to do with wind or a little breeze that gusts and causes something like that, it's most likely paranormal. But just don't rule it as paranormal all the time, because there are times that something could come up and it could tip over because it wasn't propped up on the wall properly. You live in an old house. Now, I'm not trying to debunk or say anything is wrong with how you feel about, your house being haunted or anything. I'm not gonna, make your dream of your house hauntings being true or not be in shambles. But what I'm going to be doing is telling you, okay, I'm going to be bringing in some logic into the paranormal world. I'm going to be bringing you answers. Spirits are around us, and they do exist. People die of horrible accidents, being murdered, just all sorts of stuff. They're not done with what they were doing, so what happens is that they go in and start haunting where they died or where they like. Most of the time it's a woman in white, or a little spirit of a girl or a boy playing, having a good time. Now, children's spirits are more prevalent because when you're a child, you don't think of death. And when you're a child and you die, you don't comprehend that you have died. So therefore, you don't know that you're gone. And you just want to play, you want to just have fun. So this episode's not going to touch bases. There's not going to be too many like EVPs at all. It's not going to consist of any of that. This is just an introduction to the series. Now I'm going to be going to cemeteries. I'm going to be going to haunted houses. I'm going to be exploring abandoned places. Now, these abandoned places, if they're on a property, obviously I'm going to ask for permission because I don't want to be like breaking entry. If it says no trespass and there's an abandoned house on the field, I'm not going to enter. But if it's open to go in and explore, I'm gonna take the time to go explore it, either at night or during the day. I might go there during the day just to say, hey, I'm just taking a look, or just to get an idea of the area, ask the locals around, hey, what's the story on that building, and is it haunted? And then what I would do then is go back either that night, or I might take a few nights just to build myself up ready for the investigation, if you will, of the locations that I'd be wanting to investigate. Now, I'll be trying to go into places like the Alex Johnson Hotel here in Rapid, the Elks Theater. I'm going to be trying to go up to Deadwood, get permission up there for to get on, to do interviews, to stay night doing full night investigations. As soon as the sun goes down, I'm in there taking action to bring answers to those who need it. And then for those who do not believe, if you're not a believer of the afterlife or the paranormal, I'm going to be putting a link down below of an email. If you would like to tag along and you're in the area, or you're willing to travel and go to haunted locations with me, then all else, do it. Come. We will have a fun night investigating haunted houses, getting you to believe that there is an afterlife. Now, with all this being said, this episode, like I said, is dedicated to my grandmother. Her name was Erica Terville. And she was my first best friend. My very first best friend. Died in 2001. It's 2023 now. So it's been well over 20 years since she's been gone. So with all that being told, I'm going to be also telling you more about my story as the series goes on. So with that being all said and done, this is Wyatt Paranormal.